All right, Israel, bro. Come on. Literally saying boo. Mods ban him. Mods ban that guy. Tomatoes. You know, Rotten Tomatoes, they actually do that when they do it on when they do movies and stuff. So that's actually good. Thank you for that. So last time I streamed, I think I did 1968. We played as RFK Senior. Now we're freaking back. We're gonna do chestnut on screen. There we go. Look at the tomatoes going on. So this time we're gonna play as Teddy Roosevelt in 1912, and then we're gonna absolutely decimate Wilson and his goons. We take out Wilson and his goon and Taft. He thought he could steal the election, or he thought I could steal the election, and I didn't steal it. I lost. But we're gonna lock it. We gotta lock in. What's up, Israel? What's up, Kiwi? Welcome back. Play the 1912 original, but this is the one that... Why not play this one? This one actually allows you to win. So we're gonna freaking do that. We're gonna absolutely decimate. Oh, I should have probably read it. It's too late now. 1912 election. We're gonna pick this one. With a fever of progressivism still in full swing, a rift emerges from the GOP as President Taft and former President Roosevelt have begun to split on a variety of issues. Wilson, he needs to keep his polling stable, avoid a nasty, bitter convention, and take advantage of the progressive regular split in the GOP, which he does. Obviously, he does it. Wilson obviously took advantage of it, and it worked. I mean, it kind of just happened. He could have just sat back and done nothing. Essentially. Taft must dispatch Roosevelt forcefully and quickly before his newfound radicalism consumes the party. Roosevelt must push back against the regulars within the Republican Party and pull off a historic revenge on Taft, one way or another. And then we got Eugene Debs dapping his opponent's appeal if he wishes to make an impact. That's all he could really do is just make an impact. Debs is not going to win the election. I guess it's just to get the socialist name out there. So we have Wilson, governor of New Jersey. He enters the 1912 campaign season in a cautiously optimistic position. Yeah, the rift between the regulars and progressives is there. There's a high degree of confidence that 16 years of Republican dominance, and he has to win it. Yeah, so we have him, we have Taft. Essentially, Roosevelt didn't like his policies. Roosevelt never ran in 1908, so he just gave it to Taft. But it didn't work out, obviously. There was differences, and that's what's happening. I think I think Taft should have just dropped out the race, to be honest. Teddy Roosevelt, he is literally the most popular person in America at this point. The Bull Moose Party, dude. I mean, it's so cool. Roosevelt cannot just waltz in and be expected to hand in the nomination. Yeah, because there's an incumbent. He needs to take out the incumbent with the loyalists. Eugene is a socialist. All he has to do is try to do good. That's all he has to do is get the most percentage he can get. Yeah. Would Roosevelt be able to run as a Republican in this scenario? I think so if we win the convention. I think this mod has that. But I do not know. Draggable HQ. Sure. Oh my god, this is actually... Okay, there's only 30 questions on this one, so this is not as long as the one before. Radicalism, America is low. Republican image is currently unconvinced. Zero. Terrorists, yep. Okay, that's cool. We keep this, I guess we keep it there. Since delegates shall be awarded attendance over the first 15 questions of the game, in order to secure the nomination, we'll need a backing of 538 of this 1074. So we have to win the Republican nomination. If we win this, we can safely win the election. That's what we have to do. Because the Republicans are popular at this point. And Wilson only secured, like, what, 40% of the vote? Maybe even less. He did not get a lot of percentage of the vote. Let's take a brief step back. As the outgoing president, you are due to hand the reins over to President-elect Taft, who managed to secure a comfortable victory against William Jennings Bryan's third attempt at the presidency. Though it was not as massive as your mighty victory in 1904, you shall let well enough alone and allow Taft to iron his own agenda. Besides, you have an expedition being planned in Africa and Asia as soon as you leave office. With that said, all along shall these travels of yours last. Okay, I think we should. First option, let's avoid staying out for the loop too long. Wonderful, it may be Europe's distraction from the point of this adventure is ours. We shall return to America alongside the game we collect. I could certainly use some time, not just in Africa and Asia, but in Europe as well. I would be eager to visit the continent when my journey elsewhere has finished. Britain, Germany, Austria, and Norway all seem to be splendid places to see before I return to America. I don't know how this matters to the actual thing, so let's just avoid it. You spent well over a year away, riding little to now present Taft as your team collect over 500 big game animals. When you return, Taft seems eager for your assistance and has appeared much of his political capital has diminished. Make sure you guys like the stream, by the way, or you're a homosexual. You've returned to America on an expedited schedule, eager to return to the political debates of the moment, and of course, the questions are not 1910 or 1911. The issues that America faces today, rather, all press is asked about 1912. Are you going to intend to endorse Taft for another term, or shall you attempt to regain it, just as Grant tried to? We need to pivot the Constitution to what the nation needs to focus on. What shall you do? It appears that the key debate in America is over the recently passed tariff, and it affects many, and it may have on our economy. I must make it clear that the president should veto such a law to prevent further increase in the cost of living in this country. Again, during this time, the income tax didn't exist, so we relied heavily on tariffs to do with to infrastructure and stuff. So, though I had begun to take such radical stance towards the end of my term, my credentials with the conservatives and my party must remain strong if I am to continue to hold the influence with this party. I received many offers about 1912 road. While I may say I'm inclined to support Taft, never would I refuse an offer to serve the country that I deeply love and care for. Yeah, I was trying to hold influence within the party. As Taft's political fortunes dip, even some of the regular Republicans want to be your friend again. Just be wary not to burnish your progressive credentials. That's good. Yeah, we don't want to. We want to make sure we push for what we want to do, you know? You have recently received word that Gifford Pickett, your personal friend and longtime political ally, was fired by Taft after expressed concerns that the Interior Secretary, Richard Bellinger, had misused his powers when he reversed the publicizing of certain water resources. As betrayed as you might feel, any reaction to such a move would be scrutinized by the press. How shall you react? Send a private letter to him. Deepest regret that he was removed unfairly. He was trustworthy and a reliable friend, and his dismissal is deeply concerning. I wanted to meet with him as soon as possible, have a meeting with him at my house. Yeah, that sounds good. First, should know that I disagree with the decision to fire him. And was just have his. Okay, let's just meet with him. Okay, comes to our visit, express his and other progressive groups of presidents. We take careful note, as do Republicans nationally. Okay, I don't think we want to hate on the regulars yet. We want to make sure we have both of the guys, something like that. What's up, John of Kennedy Productions? Appreciate you coming in. I've seen you before. Socialist. What is weird? Okay. On your way to Washington for a national speaking tour, President Taft has sent you a telegram offering to let you stay at the White House while you're on town. While minor, this could be a present useful opportunity to repair your relationship with the president after minimal communication for the last year. Shall you accept his offer? I mean, they were actually pretty good friends. It's just politics that really divided them. This would be a critical opportunity to keep our relationship intact, or at the very least hold an uneasy truce. Besides, the step of the president of the United States in such a manner is disrespectful. Says I should let him know I appreciate the offer, but accommodations already been made. If he wishes to meet, I would be more than happy to host him at Oyster Bay later. It was just me at the White House. The two of you discuss the politics of the day. They are disagreement, respectful ones. You can't tell exactly how Taft feels following the invitation, but you suspect the meeting went well. Okay. Okay, we don't even know what they're gonna nominate yet. Republican establishment is currently on board. We don't want that. We want the progressives to come in. The establishment's got to go down. Frankly, they're not doing what the great Teddy Roosevelt has done. An attempt to assert your role as a de facto party leader. You're set to begin speaking tour of the Western states, outline your political desire, and assist potential Republican allies in the midterm election ahead of the midterm elections of 1910, which are due to take place in a couple of months. The first of these speeches shall be held in Oswattomie, Kansas. What do you wish to focus it on? We should focus on vital issues of the day and take positions that cannot be misinterpreted. I am for a powerful government, regulatory abilities, and of course, judicial reform. Strongly as I might believe in reform of the court's power, this is a battle we cannot fight. I shall scrap that position from my speech and focus solely upon economic relief and electoral reform. To destroy Taft at this time would, whether we admit it or not, destroy our chances in the 1912 election. We will make the case that all members of our party are critical for electoral reform, such as direction and election of senators, Roman suffragists, or primary elections. Sounds good. And this this is a tariff issue. Oh, let's do this one so we can get the progressives going. The website is Campaign Trail Showcase. It's not the regular one, it's just a showcase one. Let's do this so we can get the progressives on board. This was a larger non-factional speech that appealed to a party as a whole. However, didn't make serious headlines in the newspaper. Radicalism in America is quite low, -1. Progressives are... As the midterm elections continue to loom, you have begun to maneuver towards wrestling control of New York Republican Party and ensure that your allies are nominated for statewide offices here. The Republican Convention is tasked with nominating the statewide ticket is due to convene in a few weeks in upstate New York. Once the Republican State Committee selects a temporary chairman, Taft has made some reassurances that he shall support your push at this convention. Will your strategy be to secure the control of the party? Henry Stimson is my man. Dude, these... and he deserves the support and commands and the respect of the convention. We can absolutely and aggressively push for this nomination, for his nomination, since we have the members to do so, especially once I'm nominated as temporary chairman. Okay, I don't even know what that meant. While we wish to absolutely push for his nomination, we must appeal to conservatives to some degree. They can have far more input for down ballot candidates. Sounds good. If my name is placed forward, it is out of my hands. I shall accept the role if requested by me by the party. Let's freaking do it. The committee nominates Vice President Sherman by acclamation. Stimson is nominated, but the platform proposes modest or down ballot candidates. You write to Taft, who defends this and argues that you did little to publicly share your interest in the role. Oh. They're going to choose Champ Clark, Speaker of the House of Representatives. I mean, who the hell even is Champ Clark? I don't really know that guy that much. I'm not well versed on full-on 19... I mean, I'm well versed on 1912, but when it comes to stuff like that, I don't really know. Okay, so the Republicans lost the midterms. including the endorsed candidate for the New York's gubernatorial election. But there's some good news for you, is that 1911 has not been a good year for Taft. Okay. So he's not... Yeah, the trade agreement with Canada failed to pass, if we look up here in the top left. So, it seems that he's received the first primary chances. Robert LaFollette, or Fighting Bob, has begun the maneuver towards a campaign against Taft. What do you want to make of this development? How should we respond? Though radical as he may be, Fighting Bob does present an opportunity to make the case that Taft should not be nominated as 1912 commissioner. We shall tactically enable and encourage his quest against Taft. Sounds good. He's unlikely to make a serious impression outside of the Middle West. Which, yeah. Shall continue to let him make the case against us, but we shall enter the campaign when the time is right. That sounds good. Well, it does say, but there's good news. If there's good news, we gotta do something. Let's do that. Using the flat as a stalking horse subtly is an interesting idea. Of course, you may risk of inflating the man's ego. That is true, but we gotta use him. We gotta make sure he's up there. Radicalism in America is low. Because it went up because we put that guy in there. Okay, the election year rolls around. You finally made a decision. You're throwing your hat in the ring, yes? So we have to declare us as a candidate soon. In suggesting you should be drafted at Ohio's upcoming Constitution Convention. Additionally, LaFollette's campaign has begun to flame out a following very disastrous speech that gave... Oh! Some advisors are suggesting that you fine-tune your prepared speech to ensure momentum stays on your side. What should you focus on? We must shed the weakest aspects of our platform and instead stick to our bread and butter appeals, such as tariff schedule and other progressive reforms. These issues are most likely to win us great support come June. I must prepare for to stump for myself once more. Something I have not done in nearly 14 years. Wait, what? It's my understanding I have not seriously campaigned for such a role in numerous years. There's an appetite for reform in this nation, and I must call that my hat is in the ring, the fight is on, and I'm stripped to the buff. We will enact great reform on the tariff schedule, enabling the ability to elect and recall judges who... Let's do this then. Soon you make the announcement, and several governors hate the call and draft you. Some of your comments about the judiciary make it quite a stir, but you were able to articulate your strengths more aggressively during these early speeches. Nice. Oh, that's good. 14.2%. 153 delegates. Obviously, the progressives are going to be low. I just thought about it because, I mean, we haven't really formed the party yet. We haven't lost a nomination. So obviously, we want to try and win it so we don't get Wilson the vote. Because it's what's going to happen unless we campaign, somehow change up what... It was hard for Roosevelt's position anyway. How? As your campaign for president begins, it becomes clear that Taft has succeeded in building up large majorities in the South as a firewall against us. It's important because of delegates. What's our strategies to maintain the Southern stronghold? So, our current strategy will prevail by pressuring the press to emphasize that the spirited nature of these delegates we shall ensure much needed momentum heading into the newly established primaries. How solid is this region for Taft? There is no chance that he can win the general election, and I expect that the South know this. I believe we can sway many with the campaign based on desire to keep the executive and Republican hands and protect the jobs that many of them have in the region. We shouldn't need the South. The temper and the port region at domestic conventions. Nah, we have to go in the South. Let's do this. Your aggressive lobby has gained far more southern as nearly 30 cross over the support, you received nearly 40% of the region's delegates. It would sure to be a blow to Taft's campaign. Oh, look at that. Okay, that's good. So we just have to... How many delegates is it? You will need 538 of the 1074. Okay. The primary season is kicked into full swing. Numerous primaries are due to be held over the next weeks. Illinois, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. Okay, these ones that we need. And most notably, New York. Voters in these regions, like most... Okay, if you look at New York, it's actually Republican swing, even though they lost it. So we have suffragist, court reform moderate. They lean protectionists, and they're moderate in economics. So we gotta... State by state. They're progressive, though. So it's good. The primary season is kicked in full swing. Numerous primaries are due to be held over the next few weeks. Illinois, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and North Dakota. Yeah, okay. I already read that. What am I doing? Okay. Taft's greatest weakness shall be, of course, during this process with 260 delegates in early primary. Dude. What will we do? What will we focus on? Yeah, we need to focus on Pennsylvania, but we need New York. They're opposed to women's suffrage, but they are progressive somehow. Even if we cannot win due to a number of issues implemented by the Democratic Party, the fact remains that it is the largest and most delegates heavy state. It would be doomed to loss if we don't try to narrow trust margin down. But they're regular GOP, though. We should focus on minimizing the fact that LaFleur may be a play in the upcoming convention by heavily contesting North Dakota and Wisconsin. Yeah, we need to focus on Pennsylvania and New York. Taft wallops you in New York, but you counter with impressive wins in Illinois and Pennsylvania. It's clear that the party remains split on who to nominate. Okay, that was actually good. Now we're 0.5% away. We're 0.5% away from... We just need 538. More states, specifically Massachusetts, Oregon, and Maryland, and Nebraska, are due to hold their primaries. While you hold an advantage here, your goal is not just to win, but to win big and narrow the gap between you and Taft further. Some advisors suggest you visit Oregon, while others believe other states are far more important and less more than Oregon. As a border state, Maryland should provide proof that we are capable of winning in the spring of short states. I hope we could defeat Taft by a wide margin here, because this is like Maryland. They're progressive. We can win it. They're moderate on everything. They're opposed to women's suffrage, though, but they are progressive. So actually... As a border state, Maryland provide proof that we're capable of winning in the spring of short states. I hope we could defeat Taft at a wide margin here. Massachusetts is the largest state that is coming up and generally regarded as a conservative stronghold. However, I believe my radical platform could play well. I would spend much of my time campaigning in this region. In Massachusetts. Well, they're opposed to women's suffrage. Court reform. We're not going to win that. That's not happening. We shouldn't even try to go for it. We're not going to win Massachusetts. You're good, that dude. I appreciate you even stopping by, Black Diamond. I appreciate that. You're gonna like this mod, though. This mod's really good. So we have to ignore Massachusetts because, as we see, it's all conservative. I don't even think we're gonna be able to win that. So let's go for Maryland. A narrow victory in Maryland and narrow loss in Massachusetts mean by the middle of May the contest is still a toss-up. Okay, but we do have more delegates now. 413. That's good. As you can see, guys. 413 delegates. Because we're not going to win Massachusetts anyhow. Anyway, it wasn't going to work. It's too conservative. They're not progressive enough. Okay, now we have California, New Jersey, and South Dakota. Okay, I think this time California didn't really have delegates as it compared now, being the biggest. Your allies of campaign staff believe that you will need to use these primary contests to further diminish tasks. Yeah, we have to diminish this institutional advantage. We need to have court reforms to prevent controversies. Some advisors are suggesting a change in course of matter against your campaign against Taft. Well, we have, it says California, New Jersey, and South Dakota. Oh, okay. So if we look at California, progressive, court reform, local elections. And then we have New Jersey and South Dakota. South Dakota, somewhat progressive. They are progressive. This is progressive, okay. Suffragist, court reform, they're moderate on it. And what was the next one? New Jersey. Progressive, moderate on court reform. Than that, they don't really care about court reform that much, but they are progressive, so we could probably get them. Fighting Bob has remained a thorn in our side. This is two-man race, so I will try to pick up delegates to California and South Dakota. We must do what we ensure that this does not happen. I'll drop the issue. What issue? Yeah, we could drop court reform. This thing's like a task for start the corrupt over democracy. The court reform is an issue that we must discuss. No, we shouldn't, because it's again. How about the Great Plains? They work. Well, we just did. We won South Dakota on the delegates. But right now, yeah, Great Plains we can get that. But Fighting Bob, the other guy that's in there, is also going to probably do good in the Midwest area and the Great Plains. So, again, I think we do drop the court reform thing, because, I mean, these states are moderate. 2 states of the 3 are moderate on it. And they are progressive. This is protectionist. This is free trade. Leans protectionist. So I think we attack him on the trade thing. Economics, moderate. They are moderate on it. Somewhat progressive. They're okay, this option, no. Okay, you try to pick up delegates and let's do this then. You managed to completely wipe out the Fighting Bob here at the cost of attacking more delegates than expected. Most notably, very. Oh, that was not good. But we're still winning with the delegate count. But we got him out. We basically got Fighting Bob out the race. Maybe. I think that was still a good idea, because Fighting Bob's gonna hurt us. He needs to go. Yeah, he's done with the progressives. You would support me 100% if I revived the Bull Moose Party. That's gonna be really hard. I know how to file, because when I ran for mayor, I did a write-in. But you can form your own party, but it's gonna be really hard, because then I would have to door knock, and I would have to find people in the area of Rockford to support the third party. Which is harder to do that, because you're literally, if I ran for example, if you ran for mayor, you make the third party. I don't think a lot of people in my city would really care. I think the Bull Moose Party enthusiasts are all spread out in America, so it's gonna be hard to do that locally. So unless you run for president or something, put it on your thing. But I'm not 35, so that's not happening. But dude, I would definitely support a Bull Moose Party. The thing would be policies. And also, someone did comment that a lot of people would focus on the party itself rather than the policies it holds. So we should focus on the policies that we have. Okay, we started the RNC at the Selection Convention chair. Nominally, a formality may prove crucial in deciding the fate of the handful of the contested delegates at the convention. Taskman has proposed Mr. Elu Root, a member of the your old cabinet, for the role. Meanwhile, the Fighting Bob camp has proposed Governor McGovern of Wisconsin. A combined effort to stop Taft from steamrolling the convention as soon as possible. You need to be smart here. Okay, we can side with Fighting Bob. You'll be our candidate for convention chair, and we believe that he will be a fair leader of the meeting. Fighting Bob clearly does not support and will drop his support if he learned of this development. Our support for McGovern must be an ironclad secret until the roll call. It would be a fantastic humor and absolutely appreciate the olive branch presented by me at the Taft camp. We'll attempt to nominate him by acclamation. Combine effort seems possible there, though. So I don't know if we do this one, but I think we just do this one because it's most logical. Find Bob backs out in the last minute, declaring that his camp makes no deals with Roosevelt and no deals with Taft. Root is nominated on the ballot, on the first ballot afterwards. Ooh. That didn't work out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the most important part. So I guess we could probably, tackle large corporations. I think large corporations still have a lot of power in America. I mean, yeah. Multi-billion-dollar McDonald's, all these other corporations, man. You attempt to secure the delegates from a handful of contested conventions. Washington, Arizona, and Texas, just to name a few. Few has seemingly been thwarted by Chairman Root. He has placed a proposal of Governor Hadley, one of your allies, into credentials that is likely to rule in the favor of Taft delegates. In the meantime, the delegates will be given full voting rights for all resolutions, including the presidential nomination. If the ceiling is flagrant, no one could tell what the results might be. There's a serious act of loyalty against our party, and I believe that we can move towards a fair majority despite it. Is this going to hurt us? Members of camp begin to discuss a walkout of some kind after hearing this. You thought about it before, but now it's more serious. Oh, that did hurt us. Oh, dude, Parataurus, bro. Parataurus to $10. Appreciate that, dude. W bans, bro. To be fair, the boneless party is still around. It's just in Wisconsin now. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you, was it 1924 election? Was it Fighting Bob that was in there? Or was it? Yeah, it was Fighting Bob, right? Dude, yeah, he was, yeah, he won the state of Wisconsin. Third party won the state of Wisconsin. It's the Progressive Party of Dane County. However, they got taken over by the DSA and PSLA a couple years ago. Is that... Is it DSA and PSL? What's those parties? Democratic Socialist of America? And what's the second one? PSL. I'm not familiar with that one. Yeah, you see... That I don't think that's not the true Progressive Party. With the Democratic Socialist of America, I do not at all support that, but I think the policy should be progressive now, but it once was the Republican Party under Ulysses S. Grant, James Garfield, Teddy Roosevelt, Calvin Coolidge, Dwight Eisenhower. Yeah, and I just don't agree with, I guess, the Democratic Socialist of America succeeding it. Yeah. But, Parataurus, bro, appreciate the $10, bro. Let me get that like. Boom. Appreciate you, dude. Join the Discord if you're not in it. It's in the description, I think. And I'll give you a role in there if you join in. But I appreciate that very much. Could maybe mix Bull Moose with the Fighting Bob and Wallace's ideas, some combining the three progressive platforms and policies. I mean, those policies back then are politics back then is very different from now. So, like, they didn't have an answer to, gender affirming care or stuff like abortion. So, it's hard to implement those policies. Social issues is the main thing. I guess economics is different. And I do lean left on economics. So, or a little bit left. I would say moderate, I guess. Okay, let's go back. We gotta win. But I appreciate that, Parataurus. Your men can count, at least you think they can. But the numbers, they aren't adding up. They do a head count, then another. Your aides do math on their handkerchiefs. No one has a majority. It seems if you want to win a nomination, you're going to need your allies to start making moves sooner rather than later. Yeah, because now he has a lead of 3. So we're at 1074, right? We need 538. So we need to get Fighting Bob's, who doesn't like me anymore. Or I guess he never did. We need to get his. I need to close my window. We need to get all these other guys to come in. And there's uncommitted people. It is the favorite sons that we must appeal to correct. We will work with them quickly. Humans of Iowa has some holdovers correct. They could get us over the top, from my understanding. We strike a deal with Taft, though his views are far too radical. Conceding the VP nomination to his men would soothe their concerns about the Constitution. Make a deal with Fighting Bob's men. For all their man's fault, he recognized Taft for the candidate for servants, and he is, and I would be willing to coordinate with him. Fighting Bob doesn't like us, though. Last time he said, we will make no deal with Taft and Roosevelt. Maybe Fighting Bob will come to his senses. But I don't know. We got, the gay apple. Hey, man, I think we need Woodrow Wilson, not Teddy. I think from 1912 to 1960, the world is going to be chill. And Wilson is perfect for that. Okay. I don't know, because I think we could get a lot of issues done faster, Roosevelt. And me, I support the income tax, so I guess that was a good thing that was implemented during that era. But so, do we make a deal with a Fighting Bob's men? Or strike a deal with Taft? I don't know. Let's try Iowa. In the end, Taft was able to strong-arm the convention rules while you spend time convincing this one number of voters to pick it. You shall be continuing campaigning into November. Did we lose? Following a referendum being stolen by Taft and his ally. Oh, we freaking lost. Now we have to do the impossible. Dude, oh no! Taft, you loser, dude! That's bad. Okay. We're probably not going to win now. I don't know if we can win this one. I mean, look at this. He's just splitting the vote with us. Okay, my nomination is stolen by Taft and his allies. The national push for form of Progressive Party has formed. You shall, of course, be nominated at the convention by acclamation, reflecting the true, honest choice of the Republican Party. However, we need to select a running mate. Senator Beaveridge is gonna. Did we go with Hiram Johnson, the original? I mean, we need to win the Midwest. Taft is cooked. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Taft, no, we're cooked. Though it's defeating his real. Yeah, I did lose his re-election now. We need him though. The Midwest is what we need. Okay, Beveridge, eager to return to politics, happily accepts his offer. Hopefully, he can help you win Indiana. That's not happening. School campaign in Iowa. Well, it does help us out. I don't think we need the Midwest though. Okay, falling canvas of New England, you have returned to Chicago nearly 2 months after the drama of the Republican convention. At the same time, you were denied your rightful crown. Will host your own convention. Progressive ideals. Still ahead of the convention, one potential issue persists. That is, the admission of African American publics from the South. Hoping to make an impact in the nominally Democratic region, you have begun to push for the group's exclusion from the convention, but some advisors want you to reconsider. Ooh, this is racist. As troubling as it may sound, black Republicans represent the worst kind of corruption within the Republican Party. The only way to ensure that two parties exist in the South is to ensure that they're predominantly white parties. My decision remains. My own sense of racial matters already made it unacceptable to the South. As a part of the pragmatism, we shall allow men and women of all racial groupings at the convention. Sure, let's do it. The few black voters that exist in the South have already sided with Taft, but other black voters are giving your candidacy a second, more serious look. Okay, that's good. Again, we're not going to win. Taft is not even winning any state. Oh, if we can... 9, 13, 23, 27. 27, 45. That's not going to even help us win. I think we lost, boys. Because even if we win all these states, unless something happens to Wilson, I mean, we still question 18. Congratulations, though it may not be supported, you were nominated. You have been nominated by the Progressive Party for President of the United States, and I will face off alongside Taft was during the campaign. As he began to write a formal acceptance speech. Oh, what about the assassination thing? Maybe it'll help us out. A formal acceptance speech. We'll really focus on to address the eager crowd. It's important that we set a righteous tone at the convention. I want to focus less on the feud between President Taft and me, and more of the great work from when I was president. Okay. The weakness of both the parties and Republicans on major reforms is clear. Our country will fall to special interest if we do not act quickly. We stand at Armageddon in a fight for the Lord, and we battle for the Lord. Focus on reform, namely the tariff risk. No. To you who have come here to this great city formally to launch a new party, I extend my hearty greetings here to take a bold and greatly needed step for service of our beloved country, especially after the Stanford school that took place almost 2 months prior. Maybe the righteous tone? Or we can attack both and say, like, it stands on me. Let's do that. As delegates begin to sing Onward, Christian Soldiers, you can't help but feel that win or lose, you have brought about an earthquake in American politics. That's awesome. Okay. Okay, now Illinois... Okay, we're actually not doing too bad now. Wait. Let's go to Kansas. Wait, we're not doing Taft. You gotta... Maybe Taft drops out. Taft can drop out, bro. Taft got stuck in the toilet of the White House like Peter Griffin. Oh, yeah, he did. And people say it's propaganda. Someone generated an AI video. I saw it. It happened. Oh, they're going to nominate Wilson. I don't know if he was in yet. They're taking Wilson now. For the past few years, you put a series of policies, prescriptions that you have dubbed new nationalism. Taft has spent... Imagine we have debates back in these days. Like, I don't know why they stopped, like, the Lincoln-Douglas debates for Senate. That was even president. Yet they don't have any for Senate. They didn't have them for president. Imagine Teddy Roosevelt, Wilson, Taft debating. That would be awesome. Jesus. For the past 4 years, you've been put a series of policy prescriptions they have dubbed new nationalism. Taft has spent much of his primary contest attacking these proposals, and Wilson seems eager to do the same. How would we like to discuss new nationalism while campaigning? For many years, our politics has been corrupted by the unholy front of business. These policies seek not to root out their outsized influence on our politics. There's a fourth branch of government that needs power over the other three. That is the people. I am the recall on both elected officials and judges. The ability to hold referendums and initiatives and to vote judicial decisions via popular vote. That might be too radical. Because... Court reform, they want it. Court reform. Local elections. We don't want to alienate any other states. Maybe we do want to do court reform. Much drama exists surrounding the convention. We should frame the new National Assembly as a sanction of my great previous... of this previous square deal. Well, the sports to fill in the gaps. Maybe. Common sense of the working man. We are national health. I mean, they're going to call it Socialist Day then. Or we could put income tax in an 8-hour workday. That would be awesome for the... Yeah, let's do it. These provisions remain popular with many of his supporters, and proposals such as the income tax have been widespread appeal. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. We're actually not doing bad as Roosevelt. We just need to pick up these slightly leaning states. These flip ones, we can probably get if we can pick up these, though. The whole Northeast, is what we want. Or Northwest. What's my favorite book that I read on my bookshelf? You Can Do, Man. Lucas, my friend, would absolutely love this question. My favorite book. This one is good because I read this one. Some of these, I haven't read all these, but this one is a little dusty. But it tells you all the presidents and what they've done. But it only goes so far back, or so far. It goes all the way to Gerald Ford. So if it went all the way, did my camera turn off? Chat, we're out. Camera's out. Camera's out, chat. That is not an appealing frame to be on. There we go, we're back. Freaking back. Let me fix this up a little bit. Apply. There we go. We're back. So anyway, yeah, it doesn't go that far back, but it's really good. It tells you some history that I didn't even personally know. But there's some good books in here. I got Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, but Historical Kiwi, what's up, dude? What's up, History Kiwi? So, dude, it's hot in my room, so I think my camera literally geeked out. Anyway, though, yeah, I recommend read that. Personal Memoirs of Grant. That's one of the first books I read, and when I was 16, when I got into reading. First one's really good. It's awesome. It's really good. Yeah, it tells you more than the Grant miniseries ever did. There's a lot of stuff in there, like how he, there was a horse and he was selling a horse, I think, for like $20, but then, yeah, he got downplayed. So radicalism in America is high. That's good. But the establishment is on board. The tariffs are currently averaged. Agreement. Okay, yeah. One might have expected that Champ Clark, incumbent Speaker of the House, would have contested the nomination. Yeah, however, despite getting a majority of 10 ballots, the Jersey governor Richard Wilson was secured the Democratic nomination after almost 50 ballots in a long battle that may change the course of the party forever. Do we have comments? How will your campaign address them? Wilson's respectfully is too far academic and timid to face a challenge that our nation shall face in the coming years. This is a time of action based upon proposals for reform, not poetry and prose. Also, Black Diamond, you might be interested in checking my website, takeyourstandusa.org. It's a nonprofit I started. You might be interested in that if you ever want to look at that. We're hoping to expand nationally, but if you want to look on what we're doing in progress, you might be interested a little bit. I'm going to write some blogs on it. Make sure you guys check that out. Actually, put it in here. Promoting my website if you want to check it out. So, first option doesn't really attack him that much, though. It's not going in depth. It's just broad. The ability Wilson has to enact progressive agenda is doubtful. His so-called intervention would only further the wealth divide in the nation. He'd do little to satisfy the progressive appetite. that the masses hold. Governor Wilson has proposed a new freedom, but much of his content seems to have ripped directly from my platform. Let's do this. Well, yeah. This will hopefully make progressives think about Wilson's record. Keep in mind that he's the governor of Jersey and his record is progressive. Oh. Okay, wait. It's apprehensive, the establishment. But we want to focus on the Democrats, dude. Oh, I don't think we're going to win this, guys. We can campaign now. Let's go to Massachusetts. Make sure we keep it held. What line of attack that Wilson has quickly latched onto is that you're further selective on trust. You have long viewed as impossible to crack down on information of trust fully. Instead, believe that the federal government would be better spent creating agencies to regulate these large businesses. Still, with the national moods strongly against trusts, it might be wise to declare for winning by good trust and bad trust. What will your stance not be of trust if elected? Okay, I have a record one as a candidate and almost 2 years as the president of people for the people. To understand my view on this matter, I do not necessarily need to clarify further. I've made it clear that by busting the words, just we will be able to create an environment that ensures that businesses do not overstep their authority. This has been my stance since the beginning. It's spelled beginning wrong. It's supposed to be 2 G's right there. Or, yeah, they spelled it wrong. Began. Wait, they're geeking me out too, dude. Wait, no, it's 2 N's. 2 N's, not 2 G. They geeked me out, dude. It's 2 N's. They made me reconsider. My brain's not working. A government agency designed to destroy businesses. A government agency designed to destroy business would be grave or overreach. The result of loss of jobs and income for many good people. Actions to curtail business should be directly taken out as needed for the welfare of the nation. Welfare of the nation. That sounds good. I would form more aggressive trust busts in my second term, although I still intend to take a subscription on a case-by-case basis. Let's do this. The idea of federal trade commission's popular vote is why I come out against it. What, did I mess up? Okay, dude. Yeah, this is hard. I don't think I'm going to do this mod again, though. We might just have to take the L if we lose. The unusual nature of the election has resulted... And there would be many issues potentially competitive, given the circumstances many of the registers that fall in your nomination should spend much of August canvassing, speaking. Yeah, general region. Where'd you look the campaign? The West. The Northeast is good. Progressive coordination. Let's do that. Let's do it. The West especially says like Washington is one region you expect to do well, and given the controversy present that's yeah. As per usual, the churches have a field in the candidate in this election for the fourth time. Eugene Zad's the mastermind behind the poll metric of 1894 were held off in the speaker tour in an attempt to collect and canvass as many votes for his socialist movement. Some reports suggest that you openly discuss him during his speeches in an attempt to dampen his appeal. What if we just ignore him? No, if we bring up his name, it's gonna do more bad than good. Brother Deb? No. Is that the business is fundamentally corrupt? We're in favor of honest business, big or little, there's a difference between us. Eugene Jebs is respectful. I'm not proposing attacking or giving him any attention. We should focus on... Yeah, let's do that. As you sign it, that Deadwood is continuing to swell and swell. This is likely How? But we don't want to give him publicity. Currently, women hold the right to vote in several states out west, and universal suffrage is a topic that has grown in political pressure. During your campaign, you have indicated that you support for women's suffrage, but you have a chance to refine your stance on the general electorate. Do you support a constitution meant to give women the right to vote? We have to. We're gonna lose. I think it's best we don't talk about this issue whatsoever. Too many. Of course, I look for. I mean, it's widely controversial. We have to talk about it. Well, I do support principles, but the service movement has already begun to shift to more radical elements. I cannot say that I'm a supporter of the service movement as of now. Well, I'm comfortable given the room the right to discuss is best to be left by state-by-state decision, given the decisive nature of the topic. That could be good. We don't want to alienate all stuff. Because they're opposed to suffrage, and we're going to lose that state. I mean, we kind of have to be... Yeah, we have to go in. 30 denied that the service has been growing popular, and this is in line with the platform endorsing the convention. Okay. Oh, that helped out a lot. Okay. We're locked in. Dude! Parataurus, bro, back at it again. Dude, $20 from Parataurus. Appreciate that, dude. I've joined the Discord, and I'm glad I can be a member of that. I used to help the Democratic Party in Ozaku County in Wisconsin. If you ever want some insight, I'd be glad to provide it. I'm independent now. Me too. You know, I'm not gonna go fully into my political stuff, but you know, I here and there attend some Republican stuff, you know. But the thing is, Parataurus, and I'll talk to you more in a Discord about it, is tribalism. I think tribalism is an issue on both sides. I don't think if you look at when they vote in the House or the Senate, it's always like one side flocks to this side, one side to this side. It's always like 51 to 49. Or, you know, it's never compromise. You know, politics is now just bickering and divisive. So I'm just hoping the climate cools down as we get, like, you know, new people elected into these offices. Maybe younger people. But Parataurus, I appreciate that, dude. Like, I actually do, dude. That helps out. And, yeah. Make sure, dude, you come by my other streams, too. It'd be cool. If you ever want to see me play another mod, just ask me, and I'll check it out. If you ever play this game, it's really good. So, are we on campaign, or what's going on? Okay. Given the breakneck speed at which you have bolted from the Republican Party, the question remains as what to the long-term purpose of the Progressive Party shall be. While locally the party has begun to field candidates for congressional and gubernatorial races, there is some discussion about focused efforts at the top of the ticket and limiting the party's budget down ballot. Is this something we should pivot on? Long-term... I think we do want to focus on this because we want to make sure the people locally hear the name of it in their local offices. My success at the top of the ticket shall determine our ability to make an impact in congressional races. Besides, demonstrators like to secure large majorities of Congress. Let's do that because we want to make sure we help out. Expect a course of action if we're going to struggling to beat Nixon's like this morning. Exactly. We need to. Wilson's the big guy. Wilson's the guy who we have to take down. Taft, he's just a puny little Taft in third place. Winning 4 electoral votes. Splitting our vote, if I was Taft, I would drop out. I mean, I think Taft also had an ego problem. Teddy Roosevelt, Wilson probably had the lowest of egos during this election. Following a rather quiet summer, Governor Bush has begun to speak. When did we get shot in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin? When did we get shot? Not saying that's a good thing, but that's one of the major events that happened. Following a quite rather summer, Governor Bush has begun his speaking tour in the country in an attempt to counter repeal. During his speech, he is focused on attacking your support for terrorists and, more importantly, your program of new nationalism. Right up a series of attacks with the census of Louis Brandeis. Wilson's anti-monopoly problem has been seemingly helped him find his footing in the race. How would you continue to debate? Well, how Wilson's time in the political arena is limited. It is clear that his little terms and a record of implementing actual policy into practice. He is foolish to believe he would be able to break monopolies apart or outright. That doesn't sound good. It sounds more of a broad statement, not really sophisticated. Wilson repeatedly discusses concerns of monopolies, trust, and terrorists, but little says about social justice he has proposed, no action on child labor or social insurance, and instead believes in spending time breaking up companies for their size. Though it is understandable that he would raise this argument, we have been breaking up trust. Breaking up trust is not feasible. Our best course of action is to provide oversight regulation for consumers, and that's just changing my opinion on it. Though we are critical of large trusts, the power that have will not be dismissed, and a program that see as dissolution would cause retaliation, and the labor might be. I think this is the best one. We attack him for what he is doing. It's a good argument to make, and one was seems to strict with. He eventually mentions support for local laws on the matter in his speeches. Okay, nice. We need to make sure we have Massachusetts. It's not looking good. But hey, the popular vote, we're actually doing really good. You're at the campaign. Okay, here it is, guys. We got shot. You're at a campaign event in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, preparing to give a speech following a wonderful meal at the Gilpatrick Hotel. That's when you hear it. Big! It all happens quickly, but within a moment, your would-be assassin is apprehended and you realize you are still standing. You, Mr. Roosevelt, have just been shot. Oh my god. Okay. I don't know whether the crowd fully understands that I have just been shot, but it takes more than that to kill a bull moose. But fortunately, I had my manuscript, so you see, I was going to make a long speech, and there's a bullet. There is where the bullet went through, and it probably saved me from it going into my heart. The bullet is in me now, so that I can not make a very long speech, but I would try my best. Or I could say, I was just shot. Would it be absurd for me to not see a doctor? That's awesome, dude. So we go. All right, bye. We're gonna go see a doctor. No, we have to say this. This is the more accurate Teddy Roosevelt. Oh, we can see campaign. Okay, this is. Okay, never mind. You quickly realize that given that you're not coughing blood, the bullet didn't reach your lung, and you can continue to give your speech. Your opponent suspended their campaign until yours returns a few weeks later. Look at that. They're still nice. That's cool. Does that help out? Not really. Yeah, we lost, boys. We're gonna lose like Teddy Roosevelt. Following the assassination, you've briefly stopped campaigning and still will leave Albert Beveridge to give a series of speeches in favor of your candidacy. Though he may make the greatest impact within the home state of Indiana, some are concerned that Wilson has an insurmountable lead in the state, and you're sending him elsewhere. What shall you do? Yeah, he has a significant lead. Indiana seems to be too much of a royal. Idaho, New Mexico. This is not gonna work. We're gonna get Illinois though, probably. Idaho, yeah, Wyoming. We gotta go over here so we can win at least some states. Let's do it. The West seems to be a burger in this campaign, especially when compared to the 1908 election. Yeah, we're not gonna win this, guys, and it's gonna be unfortunate. Having finally recovered from the assassination attempt, you are due to give a final series of speeches to close what has been one of the most remarkable elections ever. One last issue you might need to address is the unprecedented nature of your whole campaign. Not only are you running for a third term, but you also rejected the results of the Republican convention. What's doing so? What will you do to address these worries during your closing arguments? Rather than discuss decorum and tradition, the end of my campaign shall focus on social reform and justice. I offer a vision for new nationalism, one which will provide American people with a greater share of wealth and will crack down on those who seek to harm them. It would be unbecoming for me to stoop down and respond to such frivolous accusation. I have long said that no man be able to run indefinitely for president. I do not intend to serve for life. To just such dreams would be to give in To give them legitimacy. Instead, I want to focus on tyrannical platform the Democratic Party has been running on. Decision to break up companies slash terrorists and acted by Congress would step back our liberty. It's probably the best thing. We have to attack the Democrats. They shot more freedoms and powers to enact change than ever before. Let's attack the Democrats. It's good to deflect this topic, but you're doing little to actually just the concerns being brought up. But we gotta attack the Democrats, bro. No, we're evening out this. Taft might win Vermont, though. Well, we could do better than... As long as we do better than what Roosevelt actually did. So let me pull that up before we answer this last question. Are we going to do better than Mr. Roosevelt? Looking at the map, yes. We're probably going to do better. We are going to do better. As the campaign comes to a close and with a victory for the Democrats looking more and more possible, where would you like to spend? Where do we want to send our campaign, guys? To spend the days. Before the election takes place. We could do New York. That's not happening. Western states might remain a tight contest, of which the plains in the south to intercept Democrats and their base of support. That could be good. The Middle West, the Middle West could work. I don't think we're going to get the South, though. We probably have to do the Middle West. Though, I think we're going to win these. Doesn't really matter. We're going to lose. We can also go to New York, get the most popular vote. Let's do it. Following that speeches, you sent home at Oyster Bay to list your results coming in. Yeah, we lost, boys. We're going to lose. Sergeant Major, what's up, dude? Bully to you, dude. Come on, Roosevelt. Please, dude. We had to take out Taft and the radicals. Yeah. I mean... So this mod is good. But the problem is that we literally had to win the Republican primary. But fighting Bob and his goons... We got Pennsylvania, which is actually... a state Teddy Roosevelt did win. Yeah, we lost the election. Just like he did. So the outcome I wanted. Oh, he got Vermont. Taft actually got Vermont like he did in the other election. Can we get Massachusetts and Iowa? %, 40% of the nation wanted Wilson. We actually pick up Iowa. And we got Kansas. How do I want to show you guys the image. So this is the actual election here. Side-by-side comparison. So yeah, he does get Utah. But we got North Dakota. We get Kansas. Montana. And we get Massachusetts. Actually, oh my god, that's actually not bad. And for the electoral vote, it's 88 to 435. So yeah, we obviously did better than what Roosevelt did. Square deal. Come together. Wilson actually got more of the popular vote. Or he got more of the popular vote than he did in the other election, but our margin was better in percentage. That's because all the Taft guys flocked to Wilson. And Wilson actually got more of the popular vote. But it was that Wilson and Eugene Debs didn't do well. It was Taft and Eugene Debs that did pretty bad. Yeah. Can't Aiden 22 the astronaut. What's up, Astro 72? Yeah, we lost, boys. The campaign went up a permanently good place for any of us to live, unless we make it reasonably good place for all of us to live in. In a steady result, you've managed to break every expectation for what the third party can do. From sea to shining sea, you're a simple coalition of progressives or Republican parties to carry the mantle of the progressive movement. Despite Wilson prevailing in the end, you've utterly humiliated the conservative wing of the GOP. The progressive movement is ascendant at this moment with a simple... Yeah, I think the progressives are not kind of doing better. Actually, I think they're actually able to live a little bit longer. With a sympathetic incoming president GOP, which can be clamoring to bring its electorally successful wing back to its fold, it may be possible to establish a bipartisan progressive order. Whether you find a lens of courage from an independent progressive party or lead the GOP, you've won the movement. You just wish you could have won the White House, of course. What's this? Oh my god. Hughes' movement gains strength with no dark horse yet in sight. Their criminal moves fruitless. No favorite son can defeat. Okay, it's just extra lore. The heck is this? Yeah, but we did better than Roosevelt. Yeah, we did better than Roosevelt Kiwi. We did a little bit better. I think this is actually not bad. I mean, look at this map. We got the plains. We didn't win Idaho. Oregon, we did second place. The South, obviously, we actually didn't do too bad. Well, over here we didn't. It was just because if you play this game, this mod, which is a the 1912 one, but it's the 1912 one, but I think it's one made by this one right here. The men in the arena. You have to win the GOP nomination. You basically win the game. Because Taft just splits the vote. But yeah. TTNW? Our Bull Moose Party slogan against the RNC and DNC should be bully, a challenge, and love a competition. Yep. That's the best way for... I mean, Ross Perot did it. When he was at the debates, I watched it on stream. 1992. All he did was take on both guys. Okay. That's wrong. That sounds wrong. He took on Clinton and Bush and made them pay as like, hey, I'm the other option and I'm the best option, better option. Yep, you're right. Sagron. You're absolutely right. If you don't get the Republican nomination, you're absolutely cooked. Yeah. So I might play this in my free time, but if you guys want to try it, which I highly recommend, Things That Never Were, 1972's the RFK mod. Let me screenshot that. I'll check out the mod and pause. Okay, dude. Yeah, we paused and did. Yeah, he took on both guys. He did. He took on both guys. He had a, you know. But yeah, I'll play another mod in the future. But if you guys want to give this a try, Campaign Trail Showcase. Here is the mod. If you guys want to try it out, but yes, that's what I'm saying. I could probably get the nomination when I play it. It's gonna take so long. The stream's like already an hour and 14 minutes, so it's probably gonna take me 50 minutes, and I'm probably gonna lose again. But yeah, Parataurus, bro. Paractaurus. I think I read your name wrong. I can't see from my monitor. It's kind of far. Appreciate you for the donations, and I appreciate. Are you going to make this into a video? Yeah. You want to know why, Kiwi? I'm gonna make this into a video because I already know Teddy Roosevelt's gonna give me all the views, dude. Teddy Roosevelt, anything with Teddy Roosevelt in the title or thumbnail is probably gonna get me all the views because everybody in my viewers if the viewers and my subscribers like Teddy Roosevelt. So of course I'm probably gonna make this in a video. Maybe the RFK one. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, we lost. But I appreciate you, Aiden, Kiwi, Sagron. Sorry about that, dude. I'm sorry I can't say your name. Psych Delinquent, Black Diamond, and Parataurus. Appreciate you guys coming by. Check out this mod, guys. It was awesome, but your boy's out. Danny Helmer's out. I never know how to end these